Good evening, dignitaries, directors, honor of the dais, faculty members, and student managers present here. I, Akanksha Gupta, student manager of Balaji Institute of Management and Human Resource Development, Pune, stand before you to introduce Ms.Kankana Barua, Chief People Officer of Talent Solutions, currently on sabbatical. Ms. Kankana Barua is a graduate in Bachelor of Law from Guwahati University and also a company secretary by profession. She has completed her PGD HRM from Pondicherry University in the year 2001. Ma'am also holds a certification in the Strategic Talent Management from Indian School of Business. Ma'am has been associated with many esteemed organizations such as BATA, IFB, Sanmar Specialities Limited, Jubilant Life Sciences, Jubilant Chemsys, and Tally Solutions. In the domain of human resource development, ma'am last led Telesolutions Private Limited Bangalore, India's esteemed and prominent software product company, as Chief People Officer. She brings with her over 26 years of experience in the human resource department and has played a pivotal role in building HR systems and practices of various organizations in India, US, and Europe. Her core strengths and organization transformation and change management organization. She has been honored with numerous awards, namely Most Influential Leader in India, Most Innovative HR Tech Leader, award by the World HRD Congress in January 2017, for her leadership in the HRD community. She is the first woman from Assam or any other Northeast state, Indian state, to have acquired company secretary degree. Ma'am, it is an honor to have you here, so that is all yours.
So good evening. Oh, that's really nice. I can't tell you the privilege and how honored I feel to be with you all. Students always excite me, not because you all are students. Each one of you all actually reminds me of my own children. Probably my son would be a year or two older than all of you all. But I think the energy that we get, the inclination that we give or we get to do more for you all is an inspiration which we draw from all of you. So thank you firstly, thank you for all of you all for inviting me here, the management of Balaji Institute. I really feel privileged to have come here today while I was coming from the airport and Akanksha was escorting me. I was really pleasantly and very, very happily satisfied to hear that 50% of the seats in this institute goes to women. And this has been something happening for many, many years. Today in the corporate world, we talk about diversity, we talk about giving leadership positions to women. But I think the institute has been very progressive enough to think of something probably, I don't know how many years back. So 3 cheers for your institute, guys. And of course, 3 cheers to all the women leaders who will eventually become women leaders. And all the men, please don't feel left out. 4 cheers to all of y'all. Loud, loud. I personally do not believe in this concept of women being different, men being different. When it comes to anything on merit, we all are at par. Yes or no? Right? If there is an opportunity where I have the capability or I have a capability which is much more than my person next to me, it doesn't matter if he is a man or a woman. The person who is the best deserves the best. Right? So that is my starting note, that we all are equal opportunities to all. There is no discrimination, and let's all move in this world, particularly with all of you all, with the notion that we all are at par and we need to compete. Healthy competition, there has to be healthy competition with each one of you all. So anyway, enough of that lecture. Now what I want to talk about today is I was told to talk on a subject. I asked what kind of subject should I talk about. So first she said anything of your choice. I thought if I should be talking about all these latest concepts of chatbots, of robotics, of analytics, of everything that you get to hear these days, disruptive technology. But I felt, and actually what inspired me today to come here and talk to you all is not talk about some concepts which I'm sure you all can get to read through in the books and in Google or various search engines, but basically to share my experience in my career of 28 years. Now I have been working for the last 28 years and I felt that the learnings which I have had, if I could little bit share with you all, it would help you all probably when you all are put into some situations as you move and embark in your careers, which I know that students from various streams are here. You all may choose to go to the corporate, you may choose to join your family business, or the smartest one may decide to do something on their own. But whatever it is, there are certain learnings, there are certain things that we need to hold on to. And I think I heard someone saying the other day that education that is provided today when you get your MBA degree, it is actually a base of a pizza. So this is the foundation which the organization of Balaji has given to you all, institute has given to you all. Now a pizza is not complete without the toppings, right? It's only the toppings which makes the pizza differentiate from each other, and you all decide that, okay, this pizza is better than the other. So what are the toppings that you have to acquire are the skills which comes from learning through the ecosystem, through the environment, by listening to people. And I'm not saying this because, I consider myself to be something, just because I was the CPO of Tally Solutions. But because I feel the experience or the journey that I have gone through has allowed me to experience multiple and diverse situations. And this learnings, if little bit I can give it to you all, would probably help you all in your journey ahead. It also came from one person whom I follow a lot. So how many of you all follow Jack Ma? Quite a handful. I'm a big fan of Jack Ma. And you know why? I consider him to be my role model, not for anything else. I don't have to go to the far west to have a role model. I have someone very close to us in China from the east whose success has been because of the multiple failures he had in life. So whoever has read Jack Ma, who today, and I don't admire him because of that typical rag to riches story, but I admire him because of his simplicity, because of the tenacity which he showed with the multiple failures that he has come across in his life and made to his failures the pillars and the stepping stone to his success. So that's the reason I admire the man who today who was not even given a job in KFC, is now an owner of a $25 billion company. So that's what inspired me, and this is what he had to say recently when he was addressing to students, that 65% of the students or the current generation would not know what kind of jobs are going to be available after 5 years. Do you all know that? You all must be thinking that, I will be a finance executive, I'll be an HR executive. The world is moving so fast, we actually don't know what skills will be required 5 years after to do a particular job. And therefore, by giving this education, by taking an MBA, cannot be a stop to your learning. There has to be multiple skills that needs to be adopted. The agility in each one of you would be the driving force to be successful in the years to come. And that inspired me that today let me share my learnings with all of you all so that it helps in some way to develop your career going forward. So if you, I don't know if you, okay. So I've written my first slide, learnings from 28 years. And incidentally, today is 28th of September. So I think I'm taking the privilege of sharing my experience, my learnings in the last 28 years, which I hope will help you all. The first learning, have you all ever thought how blessed you all are? Let me ask this question. Yes? Raise your hands. Whoever has not thought, think immediately how blessed you are to be born to your parents, how blessed you are to be born in this country, how blessed you are today to just sit in this lovely auditorium and being a part of this session where I'm privileged to talk with you all. Count your blessings every day. The smallest of things, the blessings every day, right from the morning till the evening. Only when you count your blessings will you be able to appreciate life in a better perspective. The second learning, I don't know whether it's clear or not, that you need to set a goal for yourself. Now I'm sure in your management you all have gone to the concept of setting SMART goals. Yes or no? So today, can you all tell me, or if I can ask any one of you all, have you all set a goal for yourself for the next 5 years? How many of you all have set? Raise your hands. Can I ask someone to talk about the goal? Who can talk about the goal? Give the mic, please.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
My
evening.
name is Gaurav Dwivedi and I am from FYBBA, Balaji College. My goal is to open IT firm which is related to consultancy and in that also programming related things.
So your goal is to open an IT consultancy,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
By what time?
Ma'am, after my BBA.
After?
My BBA. But for that, I have to get capital. So for before that, till 5 years or 6, 7, whatever it is, I'm going to work and get capital. Try to collect capital, and after that I will build my company or establish my firm.
So thank you very much. What he's talking about actually is not a goal. It's actually a dream. It's actually a dream, and all of us should dream. But the dream has to be translated into a goal. And that goal has to be planned appropriately, and you have to use all the parameters of a SMART goal to be successful of your dream. You want to be open an IT firm, phenomenal dream, and God bless you, and I hope you will be successful. But when I'm talking about a goal, you need to set a goal as to what time I'm going to achieve, what are the plannings I need to do, and that clarity of mind needs to come in. See, with your experience, it may not come immediately, but if you know that you need to set up a goal that by 2025 or by 2022, I will set up an IT consulting firm, then you need to plan accordingly. So goal becomes one of the key factors, and that I have learned. That if I don't set a goal and I keep just moving with the momentum, I don't reach anything. It's like in an open football field. I'm playing, the entire team is playing, and each one is kicking ball to each other. I'm doing my best, he's doing her best, but where is the goal post? The game ends, but there is no success. There is no pride of achievement. So therefore, it becomes very important to have a goal set in your life. I'm not saying to have a 10-year goal, but it's very important to have at least a 5-year to 8 years goal and a plan to achieve that. Dream big, but make your goals very clear and plan accordingly. That's been my learning so far. The other thing I would really want to share with you is find out a purpose in life. What is the purpose of that you are doing MBA? Just to get a job and sit at home? Is that your purpose? So there has to be a purpose. Now what is your purpose is something which depends from every individual. which depends from person to person, but please make sure that you find out a purpose of life. And I have found my own purpose. It took me some time to understand what purpose of life means. And therefore, I have put something, very brilliantly written by this gentleman, that the great and glorious masterpiece of man is to live with purpose. If you do not have a purpose, after a particular period of time, maybe 5 years or 6 years, you would find it to be very meaningless. So please keep looking for your purpose in life. Does it make sense? Or are you finding it very boring? Okay. Then please keep reaffirming and reasserting with your alertness. Now, have you all known about the value systems? What according to you all is value? Can anybody answer? What does value mean to you? Who can answer? What else comes to your mind when you talk about your value systems?
Ma'am, values are the
Yes.
things in which it's the assumptions or it's the ethical code of conduct which we set to our mind of ourselves in regard to personally. And whereas coming to the system, there might be some code of conduct which we should obey. Maybe it's integrity towards country or it may be any other form. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Let me tell you one thing. Value system is extremely personal in nature. Okay? What I consider to be my values is different from what the corporate values could be, what the organization value could be, or what could be the value in a particular place or particular environment. There are certain core value systems which all of us grow up with, which our parents must have taught, which our family may have taught, and which the environment in which we have been brought up has been taught. Now, these core values, which you believe is very important to you, please stick to them. Whenever you go for your career ahead, whether it's a job or your own company, stick to these value systems. Now, it is said that when you use your value system to take a decision on a problem, eventually in the long run, you will be not only be correct in your decision, but you will be very, very satisfied in the decision you take. Because it is said, and many times, and this has been my learning. So I'm going to share you something that as an HR head, you all must have heard about restructuring. Have you all heard about restructuring? Do you know what restructuring means? Don't worry, I'll not ask you a question. But restructuring or realignment is sometimes, unfortunately, because of some business decision, you need to let go of people. It's very rampant these days. Now, when I had started my career and I had to handle this right sizing of an organization, principally and my value system said, this is not right. I probably have to do it in a manner where that person is not hit by the fact that from tomorrow he does not have a job. From tomorrow he has to think of something else. From tomorrow his EMIs, his, the car loans, his commitments, he cannot adhere to it unless he gets another job. Because of my lack of maturity, at that point of time, I kind of continued and implemented by asking many people go. But then the company was very happy. I was probably given an increment and even a promotion. But it did not give me mental happiness because it was against my value system of being empathetic to people. So what did I do the next time? The next time I did was, if at all I have to take a decision, such a hard decision, I had gone the extra mile of making sure that I placed that person in some other company. So in that process, I stood by my value system. I also took the decision of the company, and I was happy from all aspects. So please stick to your value system. Whatever is your core value, use your value to take decisions, because that will take you a long way in your success. Make sense? The other thing which I think it's very, very important is when I talked about, the pizza topping. One of the things which you all need to do and which we all do, which I do even today, is my perseverance or my pursuit to always excel in whatever I do. Do you understand what it means? Do you all understand pursuit of excellence? You all must have read, many of you all may have understood.
Goals in life and setting goals, priorities. My question to you is that, okay, I'll tell you my goal first. I plan to roam around the world. So, roam around the world. I want to visit many places. So, I want to work, save, and roam around. So, currently, as we know that you are on a sabbatical, what is the exact time that we should know that, okay, now we have done, quite good in life, and this time I can take a sabbatical? How should we figure that out?
Good question.
Thank you, ma'am.
And since I'm on sabbatical, that's a very intelligent question. There are many factors in life. It's not just about having a career. It's just not about that, when my kids needed me probably, when they were very young, I did not take a sabbatical because I felt I could manage. But today, at the moment I crossed 50, I realized that I need to think that, is it something else that I want to do in life? Or is it just I'll keep taking up another job and continue to keep doing that job till my age of retirement comes, I retire and settle down. But then it is with this intent, many people questioned me that you have such a good job, such a good paying job, such a comfortable job, very close to your home in Bangalore. Distance is a big aspect, and this office was very close to my home. You have done so well that yet your children are grown up now, yet why a sabbatical? I have taken a sabbatical because in the last so many years, with so many factors coming in life, my marriage, my husband, my children, my career, my family back in Assam, I thought this is the time to pause. Just as I kind of changed my career from company secretary to HR, that's a decision I took immediately. It just went with the flow. But today I'm thinking that should I continue with a corporate job or should I do consulting? And it's not something I planned a lot. It was one fine day I decided that let me take a sabbatical. Yes, financially I'm secured for the next 6 to 8 months with all my obligations. Coming to your question, even I love traveling, so I have enough funds to travel for this year. And let me think whether I should be my own boss or I should join a corporate and continue with the lifestyle that I have. So that's the decision. There is no what I would say, a driver or trigger which helped me to take a decision. It's just that the day I completed 50 years, I felt I need to do something different. And that's when I took a call to be on sabbatical.
Hello. Yes, ma'am. It was a wonderful session. Ma'am, my question is about the equal pay on equal pay, if it's not bothering you. In recently concluded US Open, there was a lot of talk about athletes on equal pay. Like the women should get equally paid as male. And then there's Rafael Nadal who came out with a statement that it varies because as a male athlete gets paid higher, similarly a top model, female gets more paid than a male model. So according to you, in corporate as well, should the pay gap as it exists, should it vary according to the specializations that you take part in, or should it be equal for everybody?
So my fundamental concept, and this is my opinion, pay is equivalent to what you provide or what you contribute or what you deliver. Today when you're talking about a Wimbledon match or a tennis match where the women are saying that the prize money should be equivalent to the men's money. But I am not for it. The reason being, the men play 5 sets to win a match. And we have still kept it at 3 sets to, win a match. So if there is a disparity in the kind of labor that you, deliver, or the kind of, contribution to what you're delivering, you cannot have the same prize money, you play 3 sets and they will pay 5 sets. That's not fair. That's number one. In modeling again, the female models are more paid, or they are highly paid. That's because the modeling industry itself is such that any product, even for you, you would look for a product which has a beautiful female as against John Abraham coming there, right? So the modeling world is such that the female needs to pay because that's the requirement of the business. When it comes to corporate, at least wherever I have worked, there has never been distinction of pay for the same job. You do the same job, you are paid equally. You do a different job, you are paid accordingly. You are paid on the basis of the role you deliver, not because you are a male or a female. That does not happen in the corporate world, neither does it happen in the government sector. Does it answer your question?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable learnings that you've shared with us today. My question to you here is, we get to hear a lot about the glass ceiling effect that exists in organization, the kind of barriers that come into play when we talk about women employees in the organization. You've been one of the women leaders in the corporate world. Have you ever really faced any sort of glass ceiling effect or the barriers in your path to success? If you could share some. Does it really exist when we talk about glass ceiling?
Personally, I've never faced. And I think this is a question I've often been asked in many of the women empowerment sessions, that what are the challenges I went through during my journey of becoming a leader or moving up the ladder. Personally, I've never encountered this. I have never encountered and never even thought about it that I'm less than a man or I cannot do what a man can do. It's because the fact probably my upbringing has been in that way. I come from a state where women is empowered and women is considered to be, at par with men, and we have never come across that, a woman is expected to be at home or she's expected to just take care of her children, get married, and that's it. But, I think that's one reason, I never ever felt this distinction. However, there are many people and in many organizations where this persists, that when it comes to a set of leaders being selected for a senior leadership position, the tendency, the tendency is always to think that because she is a woman, she has got this position. There are such thoughts, and it does happen. But slowly, with all the awareness and the fact that you are getting a position because of the value you bring, to a great extent these things are kind of slowly dying out. But I still say, yes, a little bit of discrimination at times does happen, but again, individually, I've never felt so. Personally, I've never come across this kind of discrimination.
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Johan Fernandez. We thank you for your time. My question is, in difficult situations, you've had to make some difficult decisions which have affected people directly or indirectly. How have you consoled your value system pertaining to these decisions?
I think it's something which I had mentioned when I talked about the value system. So in my journey, fortunately or unfortunately, and again, it's a business need, we do have to make certain tough calls. I had never regrets to make tough calls when it's an integrity issue. I don't even think twice. Because if you can be dishonest or there is an integrity issue, you don't deserve to be empathized. Plain and simple funda. But when it comes to, because it's not that you are a not good performer, but you're not performing to the expectation of the organization, my value system, and fortunately, I have had the position or held the position to influence this decision, I insisted on putting those people into improvement plans. giving them a chance to improve with the same manager, different manager, and then take a call. Even for people where I had to take abrupt decisions because of whatever reason, either I had to shut down something, I always personally took care along with my team to ensure that I outplaced them somewhere and made sure that they could continue with their living. So that's how I did.
Thank you, ma'am. It was indeed an enlightening session. Your words of wisdom have encouraged us to excel and reach new verticals of a successful corporate career.